Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming. We're previewing Nintendo's E3 lineup today. Yes, we're late. Too bad. We gotta sleep sometime, and gaming news doesn't stop for anybody. And then we got Caden over there on the line. She's corresponding in from Austin, Texas, all the way across the planet.
It's really hot.
First up, we're gonna talk about Zelda Link's Awakening, the remake. Zach, got to play it. What did you think?
It feels a whole lot like Link's Awakening, but it looks real pretty.
I don't know, do you have any hot takes on Link?
I really wonder why they decided to remake this one now rather than remaking it on the 3DS. But apparently all the Mario cameos and all the other cameos are going to be still in there, and apparently there's more that they're adding.
Okay, so that was kind of my big question mark about the game so far. Is it is a Game Boy game, and it seems like they're being awfully authentic to the layout of the original game and the graphics of the original game. I really like the graphical brush up they're doing. It's cute as hell in a way that sort of mirrors kind of how I think about the past. I think about it being very small and plain, so it's kind of cool to reimagine a game as though you're looking down on a play set with all these little figures running around. The game's actually not that big.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing for all of like maybe 15 minutes, and then by the time that I was done with the demo, the entire left side of the map was all discovered in color. I'm like, just can you beat this game in like an hour? Like speed run?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, to be fair, there were lots of puzzles in that area that you have to have items to solve, or there was reason to come back. But yeah, it is a small footprint of a game, just because of the era that it came out in. So if they're adding more stuff, that's good to hear. The demoer guy that was walking us around, he actually did mention that this is classic Zelda. So if you die in a dungeon, you get kicked back to the entrance with 3 hearts. So that's the kind of thing that can make the game play a little longer. But still, I'm sold on the visuals of it alone. I think that's enough for me. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I appreciate it to the visuals alone. I really appreciate the fact that everything's got that kind of Breath of the Wild sheen. So like the menus all have that same like notification sound that you get in Breath of the Wild, that little charming ding.
Yeah.
And as to like the length of the game, I actually am kind of cool with the length that it is right now, because like you said, it's kind of like from a bygone era where it had to be really hard and very obtuse to like let the player kind of take more time with it. But the older I get, the less time I have to do this shit, and I really appreciate that I can do this. Like the idea of getting through a Zelda game in a couple of sittings.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Caden, how do you feel? Are you concerned about?
Overall, Link's Awakening wasn't necessarily so long. It was like arguably about 15, 16 hours for the DX version that they released on the Game Boy Color. So I'm really curious to see if they actually do add any more special edition dungeons, or if they're just gonna pad it out.
Next up, we got Pokemon Sword and Shield. Zach got to play a demo of that. You were wandering around like a water gym. It seemed like there were water spouts and waterfalls.
Yeah, just one of those super annoying gym puzzles that you got to turn the valves in every direction. But it was that's actually the only part of the game we got to play. And I don't know if that was just our demo or if that's the only part that they were showing to the behind the closed doors demo people. But it was just that gym section, getting to the actual gym leader and then fighting the gym leader, which was a fairly run-of-the-mill Pokemon fight. The only difference now, really, the main difference as they've been playing around in the marketing, is the Dynamax system. Which comes off as a little bit gimmicky at first, but it actually is kind of a cool new way to push the needle forward. Caden, I think you might be a good person to explain kind of how that Dynamax system works.
Yeah, okay, first of all, Zach, you're complaining about a water level in a video game? Casual gamer confirmed. Anyway.
Burn.
So the Dynamax system is kind of their version of Z moves and Mega Evolutions, but there's no Mega Evolutions in this game. There's no Z moves. They've wiped the slate clean. This is kind of a new take on a lot of things, and part of that leads into the whole, we're not actually having every Pokemon in this, which totally tosses typing and balancing completely into disarray. It seems like they're going to have a much more cohesive experience with how team balance will be. And the Dynamax system kind of makes it hey, I'm going to be super powerful for this amount of time and only this amount of time, where Mega Evolutions were you Mega Evolve, that's the whole battle, and you're more than likely going to rinse everybody with that thing.
So that's what I'm curious about when it comes to Dynamax, because you only get it once per fight, right? And it lasts 3 turns?
Yes.
And then it supercharges one of your Pokemon, yeah?
Supercharges one of your Pokemon, and even in those max raid battles, only one of you can do it once.
If your opponent uses it, why would you not just use it yourself right away?
You might have type advantage, and you might just be able to wait them out.
Why would they ever use it if you have type advantage, though,
Because AI is stupid.
If you have type advantage and you use Dynamax, you were gonna win anyway. So how does that change anything? Maybe if you know that like the next 4 or 5 Pokemon in a row, you're gonna have type advantage on, so you Dynamax and just like one-shot them each time, maybe? I haven't seen, or I can't even imagine, a physical scenario in which Dynamax can be used really strategically.
I'm curious to see, like, because Pokemon, to me, one of the fascinating things about Pokemon is that it's always had those weird, like, ghost numbers that you don't actually see, like, that just kind of, like, exist in the background. And I'd be curious to see, like, what the kind of fluctuations are in those numbers when, like, Dynamax versus, like, the type advantage of a Dynamax and how those stack up and, like, how that really changes the calculus of the battles behind the scenes.
The one thing I appreciate about the Dynamax system is that it makes the game look cooler. Like giant ass like kaiju Pokemon fighting in an arena with like little drone cameras circling around them and stuff. It opens up Pokemon to be more than, you know, just like you're making your pets fight each other.
I appreciate the touch where when you pull out the Pokeball to Dynamax your Pokemon, the Pokeball then turns into like a giant beach ball that you then like throw overhanded, like you're like terrible at shooting horse, or bowling. If you really want to make the lanes pissed off at you. Yeah.
Put a nice little dent in the alleyway.
What did it feel like when that Dynamax happened? Was it a significant boost, or was it just
The moves carry more weight. They feel like you're doing a lot more damage. It feels like a Final Fantasy like overdrive kind of move where everything, you know, you do the 9,999 damage, just everything is overkill. And that's fun. Like it's like a fun reward for you, like not kind of messing up the timing with the Dynamax and being like, okay, it's like this almost like rhythmic, like, okay, I'm gonna use it now, and the hit landed and I got the knockout, and now I've got 2 more turns of Dynamax and I can really like take control of the battle back.
Yeah, in that regard, then, yeah, it seems very much like hey, this is a last-ditch effort that I can pull out. It's like, okay, I might lose, but I still saved my Dynamax, so maybe I can just rinse the rest of this team and survive through it.
That's a good point. Yeah, if Dynamax changes speed, so now instead of going second, you're going first in a given turn, like that could change things. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this is what previews are. We don't know everything yet.
You touched on it for a second, Caden, though, but the thing about the Dynamax that's actually the most exciting to me is the raid battles.
And this is classic Nintendo. It's like you really need to have communication with the rest of your team to know who should Dynamax first, or who should Dynamax at all, so that you actually win the battle. But how do you talk to people in this game?
Send them a letter. Moving on, we've got a Nintendo sex appeal is landing with Luigi's Mansion 3. It's weird that they're making a Luigi's Mansion 3. I'll say that, but it looks like a fun game. So yeah, Luigi is taking the world by storm. Everyone loves Luigi because he has somehow made Luigi even sadder. I like that when you basically shit out Luigi, that Luigi just kind of turns into a lifeless husk. Because you're controlling Luigi now, and then Luigi just kind of goes slack. So I don't know what's going on there. I guess he beams his sentience into Luigi. But it plays into the puzzle mechanics. So Luigi can walk through spikes and through grates and stuff like that, but he can't pass through water, makes him dissolve. So, you know, that's basically puzzle elements 101. You've got different move sets of characters that can do different things. You can swap back and forth to make them move around, pull switches, pull levers and things like that. So I'm into it. You know, pretty light action stuff where you have to suck up ghosts and smash them around. And then just like the other Luigi's Mansions, every room is just like a little playpen of things you can interact with and break and smash and pick up coins. Most importantly, if you hit the D-pad, Luigi does timidly call out for Mario, so you can just do that the whole game.
Mario, 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 como Mario, Mario.
If you're in combat, he's a little more panicked. If everything's kind of calm, he like is a little more calm about it. So yeah, they put effort into changing the delivery of Luigi being a little bitch in the game. There's a couple of other mechanics too. You can like shoot a plunger that has a rope attached, and that's a way you can interact with stuff now if you suck it and like pull it. Nintendo crams a lot of just kind of unnecessary art cuteness into the texture of all their games, and that is in Luigi's Mansion 3 in spades, so I'm into it.
Does Luigi still like hum along to the soundtrack of the game as it goes along?
It was hard to tell because it was loud, but I have capture, so whoever ends up editing this, Nick, I think, see if you can see in there, and if Luigi kind of timidly hums along to the music to calm himself. All right, finally we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I'm excited. I had a lot of good times playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 back in the day, but it looks exactly like a 3 that would have been made 8 years ago. I think this one's more about like we're gonna have 80 playable characters or whatever. So if you're a big fan of Moon Knight, and God knows there's at least 5 of you out there because you tweeted at me, you'll probably be able to play as that. Yeah, the only like mechanical complexity that I picked up on is that there's like a superpower that you can link up with other characters and do like a team super. I don't know, you guys have any interest in Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yeah, I mean, I like those kind of like isometric team fighters. It's very satisfying to see like Thor take charge and then, you know, have everyone behind him and do the like hammer lightning thing.
I like the previous games just because they kind of tended to be Marvel encyclopedias for me. Because yeah, those games previously have been very like reverent of all of that. Like, I remember when you were on the helicarrier or whatever, you could just walk up and talk to characters and there would be tomes and tomes of text of them telling you about their previous adventures. That was just a fun way to catch up on it. I don't know, Kaden, are you excited for Marvel?
I am absolutely 100% a garbage tier Marvel fangirl. So Moon Knight, I really want to see him in it. Taskmaster, absolutely. I'm really interested to see that since this is a Nintendo exclusive, if they're gonna like harken back to that original pitch that the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance did, where Link and Samus were actually supposed to be playable in it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to see like Nintendo characters jumping into this and do that whole like magical crossover nonsense all over again.
Holy crap, that would be awesome. They seem to be on a kick of that lately. Like they have Cadence of Hyrule, which is like Zelda crossing with other stuff. They had Starlink or whatever, Star Fox characters in that Ubisoft game. Maybe, that'd be a cool announcement. I mean, that's a marketing beat they'd probably hit, or maybe it's DLC, who knows? Man, all right, now I'm excited. More excited than I was. But yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm just like, hey, Marvel's out, let's come over, drink beer, and play the game. But that wraps up everything we saw at Nintendo at E3. I think they have a really good lineup. Thanks, Nintendo, for letting us walk around and play your video games. I look forward to them being out. I'm pretty much sold on everything at this point, but Nintendo usually has really good lineups, so that's not a surprise.
I'm definitely curious to get a little bit more hands-on time with Pokemon. Seeing the actual wild area and some of the on-stage demos is really nice to see how that mechanic works. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, yeah, it's more Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I can't wait to have some friends over and try to get 4 people doing the little action moves on the single Joy-Cons, yeah. And I think most anticipated out of this whole lineup is Zelda. It's just so damn cute, and those little zoomed in shots of Link fishing I want to blow it up and put it on my wall.
So pure.
You're right. Link's Awakening is probably the breakout here. It's too damn cute not to love everything about this, even if it is a shorter experience than some of the other games on there. Pokemon, I'm always going to buy. I've been buying every single version of every game since the dawn of time, so I'm already sold on that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was a big surprise for me, and I liked the first 2, so I'm in for that, especially because this is the Infinity story, so that's going to be neat to actually play through. And I mean, Luigi is the new video game sex symbol, so I'm totally sold on that too.
Just imagine, every time you jerked off into a toilet, Nintendo collected all that, and they made a Luigi. That stuff will clog your pipes. Nintendo did you a favor. Well, thanks, Nintendo, for keeping our plumbing clean and for delivering fun video games to us. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see until these games come out to see if any of these concerns get realized. But until then, appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time on Inside Gaming. Bye, everybody.
Everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming for Wednesday.
That's right, it's Wednesday. Woohoo! Yeah! Wait, what else does Mario do?
It's so many. Wow.
Are you ready to build some bad Super Mario levels that nobody will ever play?
I sure am.
Well, great news. Super Mario Maker 2 is out this Friday, and the reviews are in.
Oh yeah, and good news for Nintendo. They're really, really good.
What a surprise.
Yeah, it's currently got an 89.